All right, boys, we're back with another one. Today we're going down some nasty dirt roads. I just put a short up of the top 11 ways you can stay successful as a company driver. I said in that short I would go into each one of those a little more in depth, so that's what I'm going to do right now. The first one that I had on that list was by far the most important one, which was always stand your ground. You don't want to let your boss, your co-workers, customers, whoever it may be, you don't want to let them run all over you. And you want to set a precedent the minute you step through that door and you start working there, that you're not one to be messed around with. You're not one who's going to be pushed around and shoved around. You know, if you do something that you know you were in the right, but your work is trying to write you up about it, let them know about it. Let them know. And if they're trying to make you sign paperwork on that, don't sign that paperwork. You know, they'll threaten you, say that they're going to fire you or whatever if you don't sign it. No, they won't. Work is 99% bluffs. And if you fall prey or victim to those bluffs, then they're going to keep on doing them. It's just going to be a never-ending cycle. Number two, it kind of goes back to number one. If you have an issue, bring it up. Don't just expect things to get better. And don't just see how bad this is. This is terrible. Don't just assume things are going to get better. Don't just assume this is the status quo, this is just the way it is because it's like that for everybody else. No, you can make it different for yourself. Your situation is not everybody else's. So if you have an issue at work, bring it up to your boss. And if he doesn't take care of it, then go above him. And if he gets mad about that, we'll tell him, you never handled my situation properly, so I had to go above you. Next time, maybe you'll handle the situation, and then I won't have to do that. Yeah, just make sure if you have issues, you're bringing them up because they can pile up and they can really just make your work just a living hell whenever you let all that stuff add up and you try to ignore it. There's no ignoring it. It's there, and you have to deal with it. Take them one at a time. Don't let them pile up. Number three, don't accumulate too much debt. This is really important because at least the job I was at, everybody knew everybody else's business. So if you were in debt, or hey, even if you showed up with like a brand new F-250, the boss man knew about it, and he knew that you had a big fat $1,200 a month payment, and he knows he's got you then. If the boss man can have leverage over you, then he can get you to do things that some of the other people, he might not be able to get them to do, because he knows he's got you. You have to work there. You have to make a certain amount of money. You have to work so many hours every week or you're going to go broke. So don't accumulate debt. The next one goes right back to that. Number four is pay off that debt, because most people do have debt. It's just the way of life now in America, it seems like, and I would imagine for a lot of the rest of the world. Pay that crap off, and you'll be freed up so much if you pay it all off. You'll start working somewhere and you'll have all this debt, and maybe you're like, man, I have to work 60 hours a week. You get all that stuff paid off. I'm talking your car payment, truck payment, whatever else it may be, student loans, any sort of loan, credit card debt. Just pay it off as soon as you can. Start with the little stuff and move on up to the big stuff. And you'll really see once it's all paid off, like, man, I'm flexible now. I don't have to work 60 hours a week anymore. I can work 35 hours a week. I don't have to be here. I can work somewhere else. I can work somewhere else that maybe pays a little less, but the job is a million times better. The doors will open up like you would not believe when you pay off debt. Number five, don't do things you're uncomfortable with. Where I used to be, they would try to push you to do things like, golly, this is horrible. They would try to do things like make you run overweight loads. They would try to, what else? They would try to push you past your hours. They would try to work you off the clock. They would try to get you to skip your lunch break. You just want to make sure that you don't do those things, because that'll get you in trouble, and your work is not going to have your back, especially if they're trying to get you to do those things that you're not even comfortable with. They're definitely not going to have your back. You get that big fat overweight payment, they're going to be like, hey, you knew it was overweight. And then number 6, just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean that you should be doing it. Where I used to work, a lot of people would run overweight. People would do stuff that pretty sketchy stuff. Picking up trailers that had 50,000 pounds in the first 12 feet of the trailer. That's how you destroy a trailer and you pop airbags on a truck. Just don't do it. Just because everybody else is doing it, that don't make it right. And the boss man is going to say that, I guarantee you. Everybody else is doing it. I don't care what they're doing. This is me. And I worked with a guy that was like that, and he let him know right off the bat. And they didn't mess around with him. They knew he was a good worker. Just make sure you put your foot down. Okay, number 7 is really specific. It is, don't take phone calls from your boss or your dispatcher or anybody who is above you. Don't take calls from them from their own personal cell phones. And the reason for that is usually when they do stuff like that, they're trying to get you to do something that goes against the company policy. They're trying to get you to do something that's illegal. And they know if they call on their own cell phone, it's not going to be recorded. So just don't even answer the phone. Whenever they ask you, why didn't you answer the phone, you tell them, I don't answer phone calls from y'all on your personal phones. You want to call me up, call me from the work phone. Call me from the dispatch phone. Send me a text message. And that way everything is recorded, and they're not going to get you to try to do that stuff, because it'll all be right there to look back on if something does happen. So yeah, my boss used to call me all the time on his dang cell phone, and every time it was like trying to get me to do something I didn't want to do. Number 8, don't assume that your job is the only job out there, or that your job is the best one, or that there's no other jobs out there. That's a lie that a lot of places will tell to their employees to try to get them to stay there. They're trying to instill in those employees the belief that this is as good as it gets. Don't leave us or you're going to regret it. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. First of all, if they're even saying that, it's probably not a very good company. You don't want to be working for a company that, deals with threats like that. That threats is just a normal thing. And 2, you will find out if you leave that the grass is in fact greener on the other side, or that you're glad you left. Maybe the job you left for isn't as good, but that's life. That's how you figure out things. And just don't trap yourself. You don't want to be working somewhere for 20, 25 years and you're just absolutely miserable. No, thank you. Number 9, don't be a hero. And what I mean by don't be a hero is don't do things that will hurt you physically or mentally. Things that maybe you got a load to deliver, and each pallet weighs 4,000 pounds, and you're sitting there trying to deliver this crap with a pallet jack, pushing them uphill. No, don't be a hero. Oh man, this road is so bad. Where I worked, there was no incentive to go above and beyond. There was 0 incentive. You never got a bonus. You might get a pat on the back, you might get an attaboy. Whoop-de-doo, I don't care about that. Normally the stuff I did that was above and beyond went completely unrecognized. Customers will call in for negative stuff. Oh yeah, man. Hey, you want on around me, you can have it. I'm just taking it pretty easy.
Oh, you're good. I'm chilling.
Don't do things that go above and beyond unless there is some sort of incentive, and those things aren't illegal or sketchy. Yeah, there are companies that do give bonuses and stuff for people who try to do a little better, but I didn't work for one, so I am not doing anything for that company. You can kiss my ass as far as that goes. The next one deals with complaining. Where I worked at, we all complained a lot because the job just, it was hard work and people complained. It's just the way of life. But there was one time I was doing a delivery, and there was another driver there from a different company. I was sitting there complaining to him because I was about to go over on my hours. Well, this guy ends up calling in on me to my boss because he knew my boss. And you know, this is a guy from a completely different company. I made sure after that I watched who I talked to and who I was really honest with, and who, if I ever complained, I made sure it was only to people I trusted, because people who are above you or people who don't work for your same company, yeah, they'll snitch you out real quick. People who will snitch you out real quick as well are senior drivers who have been there for a long time. They know the boss real well. They probably hang out with the boss on the weekend. A lot of them have been with the company for so long like that because they kissed ass to get to that point. Not all of them, but just senior drivers, you got to watch out for them. Number 11, make sure you take your break and don't believe anything dispatch is going to tell you, because they'll tell you at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, hey, just go ahead and skip your break and you can get it later on in the evening. Well, here's what they'll do. Let's say it's 6:30, 7 o'clock p.m. You haven't taken your break all day. They got it down in the system that you took your break, but you didn't take it. They're going to tell you whenever you're done, and they tell you to come on back to the terminal. They'll tell you that's whenever you can take your break. Who the hell wants to take a break whenever you're driving back to the terminal and you're about to clock out? I want to clock out as soon as I can. If it's 6 o'clock and I got a 30-minute drive, I'm not going to take a break and use up another 30 minutes. I'm driving that 30 minutes, clocking out, and going home. So they'll trick you with stuff like that. You want to just be careful with dispatchers with what they say, because they will lie to you a lot. It's their job. I don't want to say don't ever believe them, but there are dispatchers that you should probably never believe. Man, I had to stop after those rough roads. That was horrible. Yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I'm sure there's some of them I might have left out, but I can't think of everything. But these are all based on my own personal experience, guys. So keep in mind, there's other people who might have had different experiences. I will say a lot of times the ones who have better experiences are very extroverted people. I will say if you're introverted, working at places is a little harder, especially if that place deals with customers. Yeah, it's quite a bit harder. You know, you gotta put on that fake smile. You gotta become somebody who you're really not sometimes, and it's uncomfortable. But it's kind of the way it is sometimes, I guess. Whenever I was actually my true self at work, that's whenever I would get customers calling in on me, saying that I had a real bad attitude or something. Well, I delivered your stuff just fine, on time. Everything was intact. It's like when I go to a restaurant, I don't care if that person isn't all, oh, hey guys, nice to meet you. How are you doing today, guys? I don't care. I don't care about that. I hate it when places make people do stuff like that. I hate it. Golly, I hated putting on that fake facade. I guess, is that the right word? I hated it, and it took a toll on me. And I would come home, I'd just be so mad at the end of the day for having to be somebody I wasn't. And I'm glad that having my own business, I can be myself. And if somebody has a problem with it, tough. That's tough. You want to talk to my boss? That's me. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't think I could work for anybody ever again after having my own business. But enough about that. I'm just rubbing it in. I know I'm lucky. I know I'm fortunate. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to still be here and still out here. A lot of guys have gone under in the last few years, especially after COVID. But yeah, just stand up for yourself, guys. That's the main thing. And be honest. And don't trap yourself at a job. And when it is time to leave that job, leave. Don't convince yourself it's the best there's ever going to be. At the end of the day, your dignity is really what's most important. You gotta hold that intact. All the other stuff kind of comes secondary. You can't let people run all over you. make sure you stand up for yourself, whatever you do. Just because you're new, that doesn't mean people get to run all over you. Just because you're new, that doesn't mean people get to insult you and laugh at you. You got to know when to leave. Don't stay there. If things aren't working out, and if you have tried to make them work out, time to go. Well, I've said enough. Y'all just be sure to like and subscribe to my videos. I appreciate everybody who does subscribe. I appreciate everybody who comments. You know, I respond to most people's comments. Some of them I really don't know how to respond to, or they're just people being jerks, and I just delete those comments, to be honest with you. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to convince people of things who have already started out on a bad foot. I guess that's it. We'll see you next time, guys. Y'all be safe out there. Keep the rubber side down, boys.